My dear friend, let us take a moment together, as if we are sitting in a quiet, peaceful room where the world outside has slowed down just enough for us to breathe deeply. Imagine that we have a warm cup of tea resting gently between our hands, steam rising softly into the air, carrying with it the comforting scent of calm and reassurance. In this stillness, I want to share with you something deeply important, something so simple, yet so overlooked in the rhythm of daily life that it often goes unnoticed until the consequences arrive quietly, like an unwelcome guest. You see, food has always been more than nourishment. It is tradition, it is culture, it is memory. It is the steaming bowl of soup your grandmother once prepared for you on a cold evening. It is the plate of rice you share with your family during celebrations. It is the crisp salad you prepare on a warm summer afternoon. Food carries with it the essence of love, care, and connection. But hidden within these everyday comforts, there are silent dangers, subtle, almost invisible transformations that can occur not when the food is first prepared, but when we decide to give it a second life by reheating it. Yes, reheating food is a practice we all take for granted. Perhaps you cooked too much for dinner, so you save the rest for tomorrow. Perhaps you packed a lunch for work and warmed it in the office microwave. Perhaps you believe, like many do, that reheating makes no real difference, that food is food, whether fresh or warmed again. But science tells a different story. Doctors and nutritionists have studied this very habit, and their warnings are both eye-opening and unsettling. Certain common foods, when reheated, do not remain the same. They undergo subtle chemical changes, transformations invisible to the eye, that can over time harm the very body you seek to nourish. Today, let us walk slowly and carefully through this truth. Together, we will explore 5 very common foods, staples in countless homes across the world that doctors advise should never be reheated. 5 foods that seem harmless, even wholesome, yet when exposed to heat for the second time, may quietly unleash compounds linked to cancer, food poisoning, or even the gradual decline of memory and cognition. My intention is not to alarm you, but to empower you, to give you knowledge that can protect your health and the health of your loved ones. So let us begin with the first of these foods, spinach. Spinach has long been celebrated as a powerhouse of nutrients. It is rich in iron, in vitamins, in the natural compounds that strengthen our blood, our bones, and our immunity. To eat spinach fresh is to invite strength into the body. But what happens when spinach is cooked, cooled, and then reheated? Here lies the problem. Spinach contains naturally occurring nitrates, which in their raw form are harmless and even beneficial. They support blood circulation and cardiovascular health. But when nitrates are reheated, they can transform into nitrosamines, chemical compounds that researchers have linked to certain types of cancer. This transformation is not visible to the eye. The reheated spinach looks the same, tastes the same, perhaps even smells the same. Yet within it, something dangerous has shifted. For this reason, doctors strongly advise eat spinach fresh, or if cooked, eat it immediately. If you have leftovers, enjoy them cold in a salad or smoothie, but avoid reheating them. What feels like a small decision in the moment, pressing the reheat button, could, in the long run, mean the difference between health and harm. Now let us move to the second food, potatoes. Potatoes are a comfort food in nearly every culture. Whether mashed, roasted, baked, or fried, they bring warmth and satisfaction to the table. But potatoes, once cooked, are especially vulnerable to bacterial growth when cooled improperly. One such bacterium is Clostridium botulinum, which thrives in starchy foods left at room temperature. When reheated, potatoes may not only harbor bacteria but also form harmful compounds due to changes in their starchy structure. The danger here is subtle but real. Food scientists warn that reheating potatoes may compromise not only digestion, but also long-term brain health, as some of the byproducts interfere with the nervous system. To protect yourself, it is best to store potatoes properly refrigerated soon after cooking, and if you cannot eat them fresh, consume them cold in a salad rather than reheating. A chilled potato dish with herbs and olive oil is not only safe but delicious, a reminder that safety and flavor can exist together. The third food on this list is chicken. Chicken is a global staple, a source of lean protein that nourishes muscles, repairs tissues, and sustains energy. But here is where caution is needed. When chicken is reheated, the proteins within it undergo structural changes. The second exposure to heat can make these proteins difficult to digest, leading to discomfort in the stomach or, for some individuals, even mild food poisoning. More concerning, however, is the long-term effect of repeatedly consuming such altered proteins. Research suggests that it may contribute to inflammation within the gut, a condition linked not only to poor digestion, but also to broader health problems, including weakened immunity and cognitive decline. The solution is not to avoid chicken, but to handle it wisely. Cook what you need. If you must save leftovers, eat them cold, perhaps sliced into a salad or wrap. And if you do reheat, ensure it is done only once, thoroughly, and within a short time after storage. The body deserves respect, and respect often comes in the form of mindful preparation. Fourth, we turn to rice. Simple, universal, comforting. Rice is the foundation of countless meals. Yet rice is also one of the most dangerous foods to reheat. Why? Because rice often contains spores of Bacillus cereus, a bacterium resistant to heat. When rice is cooked and then left at room temperature, these spores multiply quickly, producing toxins that cause food poisoning. The danger is compounded by the fact that reheating does not reliably destroy these toxins. You may not even notice until hours later, when nausea, stomach cramps, or diarrhea set in. And though a single episode may pass quickly, repeated exposure places unnecessary strain on the body's defenses. Doctors advise that rice should be eaten fresh, or if stored, cooled rapidly and kept in the refrigerator. If reheated, it should be done only once and eaten immediately. But the safest choice? Enjoy rice freshly cooked, in the moment it was prepared. It is in that moment that its comfort is truly wholesome. Finally, we arrive at mushrooms. Mysterious, delicate, earthy, mushrooms are unlike any other food. They contain unique proteins and antioxidants that protect the body from disease. But these same proteins are also unstable. When mushrooms are reheated, their structure breaks down, producing compounds harmful to both the liver and the nervous system. While you may not feel the effects instantly, doctors warn that over time, consuming reheated mushrooms can increase risks of neurological decline, including dementia. This is why culinary experts recommend eating mushrooms fresh, or storing them in a way that allows them to be eaten cold, such as in a salad. To reheat them is to disturb their delicate balance, to turn nourishment into harm. So, my friend, here we have them, 5 foods: spinach, potatoes, chicken, rice, and mushrooms, that doctors urge us never to reheat. At first glance, these warnings may seem inconvenient, perhaps even unnecessary. But consider this: health is not built on grand gestures alone. It is built on the small, repeated choices we make every single day. It is built on whether we choose to reheat or not, on whether we store food carefully or carelessly, on whether we eat fresh or take unnecessary risks. The truth is, food safety is often less about fear and more about mindfulness. By listening to these warnings, by practicing caution with just a few simple foods, you are not only protecting your body from harm, but honoring the body that carries you through this life. And that, I believe, is an act of self-respect and love. Let this message remain with you the next time you stand in your kitchen, plate in hand, ready to press that button on the microwave. Pause. Remember what you have learned. Ask yourself if reheating is worth the risk. and choose wisely, because your health, your energy, your memory, and your future are worth far more than a moment of convenience. So, take care of yourself. Eat with awareness. Live with intention. And remember, sometimes the smallest, simplest choices are the ones that protect us the most.